Breaking news at 4 p.m. Hundreds of thousands without power as high winds do damage just into our newsroom. A plane carrying the University of Michigan marching band goes off the runway at Willow Run Airport. Ben.
Karen, damaging winds not done with us yet. Well, high wind warning still in effect until 7 p.m. We'll tell you how long these are going to stick around.
Up first, a massive apartment fire in Detroit. At least 5 people are dead, more injured. We are live on the scene. First at 4 starts now. Good afternoon. We begin now with that apartment fire on Detroit's east side. It's too soon to confirm if the fire is connected to the high winds, but it has been a very dangerous day all over Metro Detroit. Our Steve Garagiola is on the scene of the most serious situation going on at this hour. Steve, what's the latest?
Well, Karen, I can tell you, as you're alluding to there, a lot of wind-driven damage this afternoon, and this is a wind-driven tragedy. Down the street, you can just get a glimpse right now. The Red Cross has arrived on the scene for some of the people who lived in this building to try to find them a place to live. Let's swing around this way. Here's the apartment. It's not a terribly large building, but it was a very large and tragic fire this afternoon. Let me share some video with you. The fire started about 1:30 this afternoon. Way too early to determine a cause, but the building was quickly engulfed in flames. 8 units in the building. Now, it spread so fast because of the wind. 5 people were taken to the hospital suffering burns and smoke inhalation. 4 men, 1 woman. We have no other identifications. Firefighters could not reach some of the apartments initially because there was just a wall of flame and smoke. They found 4 bodies inside when they were able to get completely inside, and a 5th person has died at the hospital. So 5 fatalities in this horrible fire.
It was a horrendous fire to fight. The smoke was down to the street, and the flames were coming over the firemen trying to get into the front door.
Well, that was the deputy chief, and just pointing out what is obvious to us who have been out here all day. It feels like 50 or 60 mile per hour winds. I certainly don't have a number, but it just made this fire incredibly hard for them to fight. We're talking with some folks out here now. We'll have more information for you at 5 o'clock. But just a horrible tragedy. In all, 9 people to the hospital, but now 5 fatalities, 5 killed in this apartment fire. Karen, back to you.
A horrible scene. All right. Thank you, Steve. We'll check back with you at 5. Meantime, we are also following breaking news at Willow Run Airport, where a plane has skid off a runway. That plane carrying members of the University of Michigan basketball team as well as the school band. The Night Cam's Tim Pamplin is at the airport right now with the very latest. Tim?
Yeah, Karen, you can see the airplane right there. It's an MD-80. Took off, was planning to take off, heading to Washington, D.C. for the Big Ten tournament this weekend, but aborted at the last minute, being told because of wind. You see the emergency evacuation chutes have been deployed. This was an emergency evacuation of this aircraft after it came to stop. Now we've got some video of the basketball team, if you want to go ahead and roll that, and the band as they made their way into a hangar over here. I'm being told there were no serious injuries, and maybe a few bumps and bruises, but nothing too serious. The band, again, being sequestered in a hangar here. They were on their way down to DC, as I say, for the Big Ten tournament, leaving out of Willow Run here when the pilot said he basically aborted. He couldn't do it because of the winds, and basically ended up overshooting the runway, coming to a land here at the end of the runway. Emergency responders made it here. The FAA are on the way. This is considered a crash. It's been denoted as a crash. So the FAA crash investigators are on their way to the scene, but fortunately no serious injuries. We'll have much more for you coming up from the scene here in a little bit. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Tim. High winds have been knocking down trees and turning off power all around Metro Detroit. We're about to get updated numbers, but the latest estimate is 400,000 from DTE alone. It has been a dangerous 5 hours. We started getting reports of downed trees about 10 o'clock this morning. Our crews could barely drive from one scene to the next without running into more damage. We have team coverage of the severe weather alert. We start with meteorologist Ben Bailey. Ben, how much longer will these winds be around?
Well, mercifully, Karen, we'll finally see an end to this as we get towards sunset. 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Those wind speeds are going to die down considerably, but until then, we've got a lot more potential damage to go. High wind warning does remain in effect until 7 p.m. This is for everybody, all of southeast Michigan. downed trees, power lines, building damage, and definitely trouble driving, just like what we have seen through the entire day. Still possible as we get through the afternoon commute, and this has all been without a single thunderstorm. This has all been from straight line winds, and right now those wind gusts still over 50 miles an hour at times. 56 in Pontiac, Metro Airport, 54 here at City Airport, and some 40-mile-per-hour winds outside of that. But we have had reports of 60-mile-an-hour gusts all across southeast Michigan. Most of those were around the noon hour. Here's the forecast. Notice where these wind gusts go as we get into tonight. Still will be in the 40-50-mile-an-hour range until sunset. Then those numbers drop off considerably as we head through the evening hours and into the overnight. And by the time we get towards tomorrow, 5 to 10-mile-an-hour winds. But still under that high wind warning until 7 p.m. tonight. Our Paula Tutman has been out covering all of the damage. Paula, what's the latest from where you're at?
Hi, Ben. Well, I can tell you that my partner and I, Joe Prince, are the ones who are driving from place to place, just taking a look at a lot of this damage. We would get a report of a tree down. We try to get to that location and get turned around or stopped just by incredible visuals of wind damage. The problem, these trees, and there's one right there, and you can see it's a little bit rotted out. It has been shaking in the wind. We've had to shield ourselves between a building and our live truck just to protect ourselves. We are concerned. There are children walking home from school right now, so we are concerned about debris flying. But I gotta tell you, this wind, these gusts have been absolutely incredible. The worst of the wind gusts hadn't even wound up. But don't tell that to Susie Stewart.
We was in the bed, and the next thing we know, we heard a big crash.
Her sister Ella was asleep in a back room of her West Side home when a backyard tree came down, pulling power lines with it and through the back wall.
I jumped up and I heard my sister hollering, and I ran in her bedroom. The whole tree sitting and everything had fell down on her.
Throughout Detroit, signs of wind damage, awnings down, trees down, power outages and traffic fighting to navigate, four-way stops on busy roads, debris flying.
In a storm like this, 2/3 of our outages are caused by interference from trees.
For Jameer Yeager, it only took one gust to change his day.
I heard my recycle can blow over, so I came out to pick it up, and when I picked it up, I seen that the tree was blown over.
Not only a victim of Mother Nature, but Murphy's Law too.
Funny thing is, I usually park my vehicle right here in front of my house, the van, but a couple weeks ago, the tree was shaking, so I said, this tree gonna fall, so I'm gonna park it here. And, but all praise be to Allah, nobody got hurt.
He called the city for help.
He told me that they had 100 people ahead of me, and they was gonna put me on a list. And she said it was trees literally blowing down the street of Detroit.
Yeah, and we saw it. Listen, today is not the day for a leisurely drive, a walk, or even a run. The problem is flying debris, Karen, and you really have to take this seriously because the wind picks stuff up and it just makes it a projectile.
All right, thank you very much, Paula. And those high winds are going to continue throughout part of our evening until at least 7 o'clock. We appreciate your report. Those high winds causing damage all over our area on Detroit's west side. The wind brought down a large tree onto 3 vehicles, including 2 cable repair trucks. No one was hurt in that incident. Moving to Southfield, 3 trees fell down at a massage school on Franklin Road near Telegraph. 2 cars in the parking lot were also damaged. Thankfully, no one hurt in that situation. Now, let's go to Walled Lake. An entire shed was seen blowing through yards in a neighborhood. The good news there, no one was hurt in that situation. And here is a look at the DTE Command Center. They have been deploying crews all day long, trying to keep up with the downed wires and restore power as quickly as possible. DTE says about 400,000 customers are without power. Consumers Energy reporting 140,000 statewide. We'll keep you posted as those numbers change. And remember, you can get constant weather updates with our free Local Forecasters app. To download, just search WDIV in your app store. Police investigating after a man sets himself on fire inside Beaumont Hospital in Dearborn today. Investigators say the man walked into the lobby this morning with an unknown substance before he started the fire. He was the only one hurt. He's now being treated in the trauma unit. It's still not known whether or not the man was a patient at the hospital. Everyone is okay after children were thrown out of a window as part of a fire rescue on the city's east side. The fire broke out around 3 this morning at an apartment complex on Schoolcraft near Telegraph Road. Some of the residents managed to evacuate, but others were trapped when the doorways were blocked by the fire. So in order to save those children, those trapped residents actually threw those youngsters out the window to people waiting below.
I had to scream for them to throw their kids out the window because there was no way they was going to be able to walk out their front door.
I had no other choice. There was no other way out. I had to.
In total, about 8 kids were thrown from the window. All of them are okay this afternoon. Right now, arson investigators have taken over this case as they believe the fire may have been intentional. We'll let you know what they find. Wayne State Police hoping new video could lead to the person who shot and killed one of their own, Sergeant Colin Rose. The defenders broke this story last night at 11. We showed you that man running and walking in front of a bus. Police say he is the same person they tracked running from the scene last November 22nd, just off campus on Lincoln near Selden. They believe he's responsible for the murder. You can call Crime Stoppers 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Meantime, this case has been very personal and emotional for the entire Wayne State Police Department.
It was difficult for myself and a lot of other officers that were, working that night. You replay a lot of the...
New at 5, the Local 4 defenders are allowed inside the Wayne State Police Department to see how officers are coping with the loss of Sergeant Rose, all while searching for his killer. Make sure to join me at 5 o'clock for that exclusive behind-the-scenes report. Still ahead, first at 4, Dr. McGeorge has some good health for us. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Karen. In good health, a danger zone for dieters. New research could help you avoid overeating. That's next.
Damage reports continue coming in from all across southeast Michigan, including this one north of Ann Arbor, a 30-foot tree uprooted by the winds. Some incredible gust reports, and we'll look at those next.
Meantime, we do remain on the scene of breaking news on Detroit's east side. 4 people killed after fire tears through an apartment building. Several others have been rushed to the hospital with smoke inhalation and burns. We will continue to bring you updates as we learn them. Back in moments.
We are still tracking wind gusts across southeast Michigan that are over severe thunderstorm thresholds, and we've got more to go. We'll tell you how long this is going to last coming up, guys.
All right, let's talk to Good Health. Dr. McGeorge is here, and we are talking about a danger zone for anyone who is on a diet, and many of us are.
Well, this probably shouldn't be as any big surprise to people that are on a diet that they should avoid or be on guard when they eat out. But new research actually finds from the University of Pittsburgh, when they looked at 150 different people who were trying to lose weight, dieters who were actually at a 60% higher chance of overeating in a social setting, especially a restaurant. Now, for comparison, those odds were much lower at other places. For example, work, the risk was only 40%. So dieters might want to actually think about eating out less, or maybe even preview the menus online to make the best meal choices before you arrive, and that way maybe you limit some of the temptation. Knowing the risks can hopefully help you better prepare to avoid that temptation.
I like the idea of previewing because I can kind of set you on the right road.
Check online.
All right, thank you very much, Doc. It's been a very dangerous and a deadly day in the weather department. Ben is tracking the very latest for us in terms of that wind.
Yeah, Karen, some of these numbers are hard to believe. The wind gust that we got at Metro Airport, this was around the noon hours, 68 miles per hour. In fact, we've picked up reports of over 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts really throughout the entire area. They're slightly lower now, but still fast enough to cause damage. We told you that they were at severe thunderstorm strength. Here, 56 miles an hour in Pontiac, 54 at Metro. So rather than in a severe thunderstorm situation having to deal with a thunderstorm for a brief period and then going out to clean it up, this has just been elongated for a 9-hour period today, and we've still got some more to go. In fact, you look out to the west, and those wind gusts have not died off all that much. West side of the state, they're at 55 miles an hour there in Grand Rapids, slightly lower on the other side of the lake. We will get some relief once the sun goes down, but we've got a few more hours to go before that happens. 52 is the air temperature. The wind gust is actually higher than the air temperature at 54. Sustained winds are out of the west at 36 miles an hour, and that air is really dry. 17% relative humidity out there right now. So not a lot to look at as far as the radar goes, but there will be when we get into tomorrow night, especially down in our south zone. As you'll see in our forecast map, watch what happens down here in Lenawee and Monroe County. We've got a band of snow that's going to start striping the area once we get into tomorrow evening. It's not going to be a ton, less than an inch is what we're expecting, and most of this will be in our south zone, but it may creep up towards I-94 and maybe a few points north as well. In fact, we'll look at that now in our 4-zone forecast. Again, these amounts not going to be all that impressive, but it's going to be on the ground, especially here downriver, about 0.4 of an inch in Trenton. Right at the airport, could see 1/3 of an inch. Most of that will be confined to our south zone. You can see here about 4, 5, 6/10 of an inch is what we're expecting. That rain snow line will generally cut off here north of 94. And just a few tenths there south, but north of there in our west zone, we're not expecting anything. And our north zone completely goose eggs, as you'll miss out on all that snow, which I don't think a lot of folks will be upset about. Tonight, though, 29 for the overnight low on the temperature scale. We'll keep those 50-mile-an-hour gusts around until after sunset, and then the winds will drop sharply as we head into the overnight hours. Highs tomorrow at 41. We'll start watching for that snow to develop in the evening hours. And again, most of that's going to be south of the city. And that 7-day forecast is going to be entirely below average all the way through Wednesday of next week. Remember, our average highs are in the low 40s now. So after a very warm February, we're in for a chilly next 7 here in March. And we'll continue watching that high wind warning, which remains in effect until 7, Karen.
All right, thank you, Ben. More news still ahead, including the faces of Flint. Some very personal messages for Governor Snyder about the water crisis. The Flint water crisis is not over, as residents are still using filters just to use the tap water in their own homes. Our special coverage continues tonight with the faces of Flint. Residents sending messages to Governor Snyder.
I would tell Governor Snyder to come to my house, stay with me for a day and watch what I have to deal with. Watch how when I turn on my washing machine to wash my kids' school clothes, how I have to put vinegar and different additives in my water to make sure that their clothes don't be harmed.
He needs to get his ass out of there and, and I don't know, turn himself in, because he's the one that subjected thousands of people to the contamination. And it's just ridiculous.
Honestly, I wouldn't even talk to him because it's a waste of time and ain't no point in talking to him. He a governor. I'm another resident of Flint. He ain't want to hear about what I got to say.
He needs to be discomfort. He needs to be uncomfortable so he can see what we really face.
Why did you lie about the water? I mean, so many people are at risk and then they're still paying for water that they can't even use. I mean, that's betrayal.
The faces of Flint, the search for solutions, and an update on the criminal investigation, all tonight in a primetime special. Make sure to join us tonight at 8 o'clock right here on Local 4. Well, we are seeing signs all around the world that today is International Women's Day. The Fearless Girl statue has been added near the iconic Bull on Wall Street in New York. State Street Global Advisors says it's sending a message to companies to put more women on their board of directors. A big day around the world. Still ahead, another update on those dangerous winds. They have been causing so much trouble, like this. A woman was trapped in her home in southwest Detroit when wires touched that house, starting a fire. A neighbor helped get her to safety. And Ben has an update on when those winds might die down when we come back.
It's an all-natural way to reduce stress and just relax, and it's gaining in popularity.
You just feel rejuvenated, you feel a lot more calm, you don't feel anxious.
I'm Evrod Cassamy. Tonight at 11, I'll show you what's inside of this pod and explain why people are coming here to just float.
You've heard the expression.
A high wind warning remains in effect for all of southeast Michigan, with our area getting wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour. Those strong winds have brought trees and power lines down across all of Metro Detroit. Right now, between DTE and consumers, there are more than 600,000 people without power in southeast Michigan. So finally, first of all, let's get another check on those dangerous winds, and we do have a few hours left.
Yep, good news, bad news. It's lower wind speeds than what we were seeing earlier. The bad news is some of these numbers you're going to look at are still enough to cause damage. In fact, 56 miles an hour, latest guess there in Pontiac, that's just within the last 10 minutes or so. We'll be seeing this at least until sunset. Then as we get into the nighttime hours, we'll start to see the winds diminish, but still could be issues with downed trees and limbs after dark.
All right, we'll have more, of course, at 5 and 6. Meantime, Inside Edition is next.